Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to Championship predictions for some big midweek games. Can I just say a massive thank you for your support on the channel over the last couple of days. As I said on my community page, my son was born on Saturday and obviously didn't go to the Coventry game on Saturday, but we could still talk about all the football action. But thank you once again for your great support on the channel, and I'll try and be back consistent going forwards. I'm joined by Sophie. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, Auntie Sophie.
I know.
Let's go for 300 likes on this video. If you haven't already hit the like button, do make sure to get involved and hit that thumbs up button. That's a nice big round target there. Let's get straight into it, Soph, starting with Blackpool versus Queen's Park Rangers. Now, Blackpool played in the early game. They lost 2-0 to Bristol City. A bit disappointing when you think they picked up that 0-0 against Burnley the weekend before, but they're only 6 points behind, and if they can just get back-to-back wins somewhere, then they'll be right in it. But can they do it is the question. Up against a QPR team that got their first win under Gareth Ainsworth, and I think they might follow it up. I know this is really difficult because there's not a lot to go on for these two teams. Neither of them are in great form, but might edge the away team 2-1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quite a tight game. I think Blackpool, they desperately need the points, as well as QPR, to be honest. So I can see it being quite scrappy. I think it is looking a little bit bleak for Blackpool. I don't know if Mick McCarthy is the man for the job. As you said, Gareth Ainsworth got the 3 points. It was a bit scrappy, and I know a few of the Watford admin teams and some of their fans weren't too happy with the way they played it out, but they got the massive 3 points. And I think, as you say, they're going to follow it up again with another win. But low scoring for me, so 1-0 to the R's. 1-0,
okay, interesting. Big result that would be. On we go to the Den. It's Millwall versus Swansea City. I did manage to get both of their scorelines bang on at the weekend. I said Millwall would pick up a 1-0 win at Reading, and I did back Swansea to lose 3-1 at home to Middlesbrough. I think this is going to be an interesting matchup, but I think, for me, it seems quite likely Millwall will win again. Swansea, they can be competitive, they can get on the score sheet, but ultimately, I just think their season is petering out. They're not going to go down, but they're nowhere near going up, and maybe a big change is needed in the summer for Swansea City. Millwall, great win. They beat Reading and they're right in the mix. I think they might eke out another win. I'm going to go 2-1 this time.
Oh no, I'm going to go back to the trusty Millwall 1-0. I did think they'd have a bit of a tighter game against Reading, but they've obviously shown they've got the quality, the calibre there to get those 3 points and get it over the line. And coming up against Swansea, I think it's going to be actually a little bit of an easier game. I don't think Swansea are a bad team. They're not having a great season, and I think it's going to sum it up losing 1-0 away at Millwall. So
yeah, it's just a bit disappointing for Swansea at the moment.
It is, yeah.
We'll move on to Rotherham United versus Preston North End. Preston with a good win at the weekend. They beat Cardiff City, and it's quite a few clean sheets they've strung together. They've gone back to being very defensively organised, and going away to Rotherham, who are a team that look like they might be alright this season, but could do with the extra points here and there. I'm tempted to go for a 0-0, but I think there might be a goal or two, and I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 instead, actually. I feel like Rotherham, when they're at home, I do find it hard to go against them because they can be quite solid at home, but Preston are on a good little run. So I'm going to sit on the fence and say 1-1.
Yeah, purely because Preston are on a good run. They've turned around their home form as well in recent weeks as well, which obviously their fans will be happy about. Rotherham losing away at Birmingham, it's not the end of the world, but obviously, again, they need the points just to feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't see them getting anything from this Preston game. I see Preston being a really, really difficult outlet to break down, and I see them getting a scrappy 1-0 win.
1-0 Preston, fair enough. On we go to Vicarage Road. It's Watford versus Birmingham City. Watford, they lost to QPR, and you know that is a bit of a low point when you think QPR are losing to everyone. Watford have now lost to them. But they've got Chris Wilder. This will be his first home game, but as we said before, he needs to hit the ground running. Okay, we'll give him a break and say, yes, he's lost his first game, but now he really needs to win. Yeah. If they don't win this game, I don't think Watford will make the playoffs. I know it sounds dramatic, but the other teams are going a lot faster than Watford at the moment, so they have to win this. And then we'll talk about Birmingham, who got a good 2-0 win against Rotherham at the weekend. They're not losing lots in the last 2-3 games. I'm just trying to think, can Birmingham City get something in this one, though? They'll have to be very organised, but I might actually go for them to get a point. Watford maybe gelling slowly under Wilder, and Birmingham on the high of a win against Rotherham. I'll say 1-1.
Yeah, see with Blues, I find them hard to predict because they are a little bit inconsistent as well. So could they follow up a win with another win? I don't think so. I think Chris Wilder's going to pick up his first 3 points, but I don't see it being pretty. So again, another 1-0 for me.
1-0. It's the Troy Deeney derby, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
On we go to Wigan Athletic, who take on Coventry City. Sophie, once again, you'll be off to this. Brilliant fan you this season, honestly. Must have about 5,000 points on her season ticket. So Wigan versus Coventry. We'll come to Coventry in a minute, but Wigan in a bit of a crisis, aren't they?
Yes. On and off the pitch, to be honest.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we all know on the pitch they've not been brilliant. I mean, they lost 3-0 to Burnley, although Burnley obviously very good.
Yeah, one of them.
But yeah, they're struggling for goals, and off the pitch it's looking very concerning with financial problems flaring up again. And you just look at the situation with Wigan down near the bottom. Can their players be motivated to keep them up this season? And who knows? I mean, will their players start having their own protests if they're not going to be getting paid?
Yeah.
God knows. Hopefully this game goes ahead, and I don't want anything bad to happen to any other club. You know, as a Coventry fan, I know what it's like to see this sort of horrible situation. I've got a lot of sympathy for the Wigan fans, but I do want Coventry to take full advantage, obviously, as a Coventry fan. So I'm going to say Coventry 2-0.
Yeah, I actually think this is a relatively good time to play them. I don't think... I mean, there's a lot of negativity around Wigan at the moment and a lot of uncertainty. So can we capitalise on that on the pitch? I bloody hope so. But we've got quite a few players out.
I didn't go to the whole game, obviously. Give us your perspective on that, because you went to that.
So I thought it was quite a tight game. I thought it was typical for us to go 1-0 down against Hull, and I thought, oh my God, we're gifting them 6 points again. And I think second half we came out, we played better. I do think we should have had a penalty. I've seen it back and it's not as clear as when we were watching it live, but I do think that we should have had the 3 points. So I think a 1-1 was kind of fair. It keeps us on an unbeaten run, so I wasn't devastated.
Okay.
So yeah, going into the Wigan game, I don't see us conceding. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet, and I think that's going to be one of our priorities as well. But I don't see us scoring loads, so I'm going to say 1-0 to City. 1-0,
yeah. Just any kind of 3 points. Coventry really need them.
Yeah.
Right, we'll move on. This could be a really interesting game. It's Middlesbrough versus Stoke City. And Middlesbrough are absolutely flying. They're on a crusade back to the Premier League, aren't they? And they really are going to catch Sheffield United if they keep going the way they are. But, hang on, Stoke City, 5-1 at Sunderland, 3-2 against Blackburn. Where's this come from? I mean, they're beating teams that have got a lot to play for, so could they do the same at Middlesbrough? I mean, this is the toughest test you're going to get against the team who are arguably in the best form in the league. I think Stoke will score. I think they'll be in this game, but I cannot not go for Middlesbrough and their brilliant run of form. So I'm going to go Middlesbrough to win 2-1.
Yeah, I have no idea where this Stoke form has came from. They're putting a lot of goals away. I mean, they went 3-0 up, I think it was, against Blackburn, and then conceded 2, and you think, oh my God, they're going to bottle it. But they didn't. They saw it through. I do see them scoring against Middlesbrough, but I don't see them actually coming away with any points. So for me, Borough win this 3-2.
3-2. Okay, that'd be a good game. We'll move on to Wednesday's games. We start with Blackburn Rovers, who take on Reading. Reading, back-to-back 1-0 defeats. They're just a bit flaky, aren't they? I mean, it's just a bit of a shame because they had a good start to the season. It's fallen away. They just don't seem to score enough, and if they're not going to keep clean sheets, then they will lose games. And I think I'm going to go for a similar outcome here. Despite Blackburn's defeat to Stoke, I think they should get back to winning ways at home here. And they did, like you say, they rallied. They got 2 late goals against Stoke, and you just think if they hadn't gone 3-0 down, they'd have got something. I think Blackburn win this 2-0.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to say the exact same scoreline for me. Rovers win this 2-0.
Yeah, I just think it's... I can't see Reading winning that. I don't know why.
I don't see them getting anything from it, so...
Watch us be wrong. On we go to South Wales. It's Cardiff City versus West Bromwich Albion. Cardiff have been pretty good under Lamucci, if we're going to be honest, but they're still that team who are just above the bottom 3. Yes, they've got a 6-point buffer, but the 3 teams below them are all 6 points away, so it only takes one of them winning for the gap to get shut to 3 points. So they need to keep moving, Cardiff City. I do think they're going to be alright, but they need to keep moving. They're up against West Brom, who've been a bit better. Back-to-back 1-0 wins at home against relegation fodder, but I suppose this is a similar game for them. If they could grind out another 1-0 against a team down there, that'd be massive. As I say, I do think Cardiff City will probably stay up this season, but I'm going to say the Baggies sneak another 1-0 win. 1-0 West Brom.
Do you know what? I backed Cardiff last week, and it feels like any time I back them, they don't get the win. So their fans will be happy to hear I'm not backing them this week. But I do see a draw playing out, actually. I'm going to say a 1-1.
Really? It's interesting that. Okay, we'll move on to Huddersfield Town, who take on Norwich City. Huddersfield, it's just the goals that are the problems. No goals in 4, I believe. I mean, they beat Birmingham 2-1, then they lost to Burnley 4-0. They lose to Coventry 4-0. They draw with Bristol City 0-0, and then they lose to West Brom 1-0. It's not really much improvement there. I know Neil Warnock's going into a desperate situation, but he needed to hit the ground running, and as far as I'm aware, he hasn't. 4 points in 5 is not enough. And Norwich is another tough one. Huddersfield have got some really tough games here. Although, we will say Norwich lost 1-0 to Sunderland, so maybe an opportunity for Huddersfield to try and get something. But the only thing I could see Huddersfield getting at best is a draw, but I still don't think that'll happen. I'm going to go 1-0 Norwich.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Huddersfield fans are almost accepting defeat at this point and just accepting that they're probably going down. It's looking more and more likely. I actually don't mind Neil Warnock. I think I'm one of few to not mind him, but I feel like some of his comments after the games, you just think, no, you're not the man for the job at all. Like, you need to be going in there and absolutely having it with some of these players because they're not putting in good performances, but he just seems to be making excuses. So I don't see them getting anything from this. I think Norwich need to bounce back after that Sunderland loss, and I think they're going to do it. 2-0. 2-0.
Okay, we'll move on. It's Hull City who take on Burnley. Obviously, top of the table, Burnley. They got that 3-0 win against Wigan. Hull City, as we said, with the 1-1 draw at Coventry. What I will say is I saw the highlights, and Estupiñán's goal is very good.
It was a great finish.
That's 4 goals he's scored against us this season.
And I actually like their manager as well. I will say that.
Rosenior.
Yeah, I do.
I think he's done a very good job there. So I think once again Hull City might score, and they might be in this game, but ultimately they are playing top of the league, and I think not many teams are going to stop Burnley this season. I'm going to go 2-1 Burnley.
Okay, so you think they'll concede? I actually don't. I think Burnley are absolutely flying, and I just think it's just another team in their path that they're going to wipe to one side. And it's not saying anything bad about Hull, it's just kind of the form Burnley are in. Almost like the Man City in the Championship.
Yeah.
And for me, Burnley win this 2-0.
Burnley 2-0. Fair enough. 2 games left. We'll move on to Kenilworth Road as Luton Town take on Bristol City. Bristol City with a good win against Blackpool. Can they take that with a bit of positivity and go get something at Luton? I don't know. I mean, Luton Town
are flying.
They are very good.
Yeah.
I backed Luton Town on most occasions, but when it came to them going away to Sheffield United, I thought maybe not. But they did it.
They did it. Yeah.
Carlton Morris, brilliant, and 60 points on the board now. Luton Town are getting close to being. I mean, they could see the finish line in terms of the top 6. And if they were to just win the next 2 or 3 on the bounce, and Sheffield United were to keep faltering, who knows? Could they be in the top 2 conversation? Anyway, they're brilliant. They're taking on a Bristol City side who can be good, but obviously less consistent. They're in the middle of the table. I'll say Luton Town sneak another 3 points with a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I see Luton winning this 1-0. I think that was a massive result against Sheffield United. I don't think Bristol City have been bad recently, but I think Luton are just full of confidence at the moment, and they're going to get another 3 points for me. So 1-0. 1-0.
Okay, the final game is at the Stadium of Light. It's 2 massive teams, Sunderland versus Sheffield United. This could be interesting.
Yeah.
I think what's made it interesting is the last couple of results. The fact that Sheffield United lost to Luton, the fact that Sunderland beat Norwich. Maybe now we can see a way in which Sunderland win this, because before I'd have probably gone for Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I know Sheffield United won the reverse fixture at Bramall Lane 2-1 earlier this season. Sheffield United, I really don't know. I mean, we were saying how good it is to have the points in the bank, but there's still 10 games here, and Middlesbrough are only 4 points behind them now. I'd be worried if I was a Sheffield United fan, because there's some big games coming, and the gap could literally shut to 0. And as soon as, should we say, Middlesbrough move into second place, that's when things could really become negative at Sheffield United.
Yeah.
They need a win. They need a statement win. But away at Sunderland, who've just beaten Norwich, I don't think I see it happening. But 2 very good teams. I'm going to sit on the fence and say 1-1.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the fence as well, but I think it's going to be a really entertaining game. I see both teams picking up a couple goals here, and it being like a really tight and entertaining game to watch. So I think this is kind of got to be one of the games of the week, to be honest. So for me, 2-2.
So then, guys, there you have it. That wraps up our Championship predictions. Give us your thoughts down below. Do make sure to drop a like. We're going for 300 likes, and do make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for your great support once again. We'll be back with a live stream tomorrow for Wigan versus Coventry, and plenty more videos coming through the week. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.